We're live. We are live. You can just watch Max wrench. We're a bit late. Got more viewers in 2 minutes than the shit fountains get on a good night.
Afro is coming nicely, tuli jo.
Mitä?
Afro is coming in nicely.
Kuka sanoi?
Joku laittoi jo.
It's all about the afro. New pitman for the new updated office. Ota, eikö tää sopis tähän nyt?
Aika pollea.
Nyt mekataan vähän liikaa.
Niin.
Laitetaan tää.
Hey Joseph, you need a haircut.
Kuka sanoi?
Joku
Who said I need a haircut? Go fuck yourself. Sorry, this is a family show.
What in the crystal meth is going on with your head? Kaikkea vittu.
Mä vittu sanoin, että pakko hakea lippi. Nyt sä ymmärrät.
Max in his natural environment, yes.
So what's the number? We need more than 100 people before we talk setup. Okay? More than 100 people.
Max.
Mitä?
Joku se, tai Sean Kirkman sanoi, mun pitää leikkaa se hiukset. What's your drink today? Kysyy.
What's my drink today?
Damage.
Yeah, let's start with a drink. I need a drink if I'm gonna talk about setup. So today we have a classic long drink, lime. Never tried it before. Let's try it right now. Never tried it. Not bad. Not bad at all. Up, still 95. I guess no setup talk then. Look, I found my hockey mask, goalie's mask.
Joo, miksi sä hetken?
Pretty cool.
Toi hyvä toi Luis Philippe Soares.
Mitä se sanoo?
Se sanoi, että jos se olisi jätkä, kun
Nice,
meni
right?
kämppään, niin se jeesus meitä.
Cool.
Miksi
Mitä
se
sanoit?
oli 100? Se joku jäbä, se Luis.
Kuka Luis?
En mä tiedä, joku Luis, niin se auttoi meitä pääsee meidän kämppään Neossa.
Mistä se on?
Espanjasta.
Onks HB?
Joo.
Okei. Siltä mä ostin nää renkaat. Tai jotenkin se voiti jotenkin.
Okei.
Jostain. Mafia-kaverilta.
Ei, miksi meillä on...
Hey, it's stuck on 95. We got Ken Roxon, 94 in the house. It's going down. It's going down. It's no setup talk today. Hey, that's why. Idiot. Can you spam Captain Club Race? Of course. Spammed Captain Club Race and his wife, you know. They have a live feed into their special room, I'm sure. So, well then yep, there we go. It's going up already. Boom. See, works like a charm every time. Every time. Saki, Saki. Max has to share this too. Max is actually doing his summer job here. I hired him. we haven't negotiated the pay exactly yet. He thinks he's gonna get some money, but I'm not so sure. Anyway, pair of bellends. Oh my god, you need a haircut that bitty again. Kato nyt, mä käyn oikeesti hakemaan lippiksi. Ei kukaan voi keskittyä tähän setup-juttuun.
Child labor. Sun pitää aloittaa. Yli 100.
Yeah, we have more than 100 people. We have to start this thing. What was I supposed to talk about? Oh yeah, go on the website. Okay, let's begin. We dropped under 100, I don't care. We were over for a bit. Go on the website, stories.jqracing.com. Go on the website, scroll down. Black Edition News, Week 11, Teams Starting Setups. Sean Kirkman, buy your setups suck. Sean, why are you even looking at this anyway? Mr. Techno. Don't be mad you're driving a plank around the track. You can't do setups on it.
Ei,
Don't be mad.
avaa se striimi sun koneelta. Niin sä pystyt lukemaan niitä samaa.
Joo.
Kun sä laitat sun näytön, tulee ihan väärään aikaan.
Häh?
Kun sä laitat sun näytön, niin ne tulee silleen, että sä laitat
myöhässä.
vitun myöhään.
Miksi ne tulee silleen?
No en mä tiedä.
Kaikki sanoo, puhuu nyt hiuksista. Tää on saatana.
Tulee sulle paha fiilis.
No olisi vaan pitänyt hakea se lippis. Yeah. No finish. FFS. Bish. Okay. Anthony Westergaard says hi Max. Muistaksä? Se homo, joka asuu siellä aavikolla.
Muistan.
Niin.
I'm here with my dad, Joseph.
Stepdad. Anyway, so his summer job will consist of... He polished all my trophies. That was good. And we remodeled the office here. That was good. We got new shelves, new tables. We're not going to show you. We'll show you when it's all done. We still have to organize the storage, the new warehouse, the huge warehouse facility outside. And what else are we going to... Mitä muuta me tehdään? Oh yeah, Max is gonna do the web shop because all the parts are in all the wrong places, and you know it's kind of a pain in the ass to do, but someone has to do it so people can find the spare parts. Got a Charlie Mac, Jakey, you need a haircut, man. Don't sign off. Then what else? Oh, he's gonna design a truggy.
Slow checks.
That's right. Max is gonna learn the ropes and he's gonna design a truggy this summer.
Mitä ei toimi?
Mitä muuta meidän piti tehdä?
Häh?
Mitä muuta meidän piti tehdä? Mitä muuta sä teet? Niin. Mä en selitä mikä sun kesätyö on.
Ei kai mulla ollut muuta. Ai niin, mun piti kasaa autoja.
But yeah, then we have so many old cars. Max needs to go through them and build them and then sell them off. Factory editions, rebuilt by Max. How's the truggy coming? He hasn't started yet. Don't worry.
Onko tehty tukivarjo?
He said he's drawn an A out.
Joo, ja tornit.
And shock towers.
Yeah.
So we have a truggy, basically. He's drawn one arm and shock towers. So, yeah. Don't copy. There's no way. We're not gonna copy your techno truck, okay? Don't worry, Sean. Max isn't that stupid. Mitä sitten? Oh yeah, setup. So yeah, go on the website and Black Edition News Week 11. Starting setups. Let's go over this. Alright, let's start at the beginning. Before we talk about setup, we have to talk about something else. And that is just building the car right. See, most of the time, when I go to a race, there's some JQ drivers there and they ask me for setup advice. Is Showtime going to test it? The truck, yeah, we'll send the first truck to Showtime to test. Let's see if he can break it. I think he prefers truck anyway because he can see it. You know, it's big enough to where he can actually see the car. So anyway, back to what I was trying to explain. Most of the time when I help someone, I don't really need to think much. I don't really need to go into the setup and make changes. All I need to do is just build the car right. Well, his car, I can't show it on his car because it's in bits. Anyway, let's get mine. Let me prep my car for you. I'm going to show you. Max can entertain you for a minute here. Max, hei, selitä niille jotain. Pro tip from Max.
Okay, so people have been asking for the tank because I've lowered it. I don't know how it works. Here, I won't zoom in, but I've just pretty much dremeled to where the F is. I don't know if you can see. The most common build mistake, definitely the engine
Everything.
Engine mount.
Everything.
Engine mount is the main. I've seen 3 guys this year that are new to the car. They built the engine mount wrong. Then I guess engine mount is like the number 1. People just don't get it. And then the rear hub things. People have
the
the
insert,
wrong.
yeah.
The rear
Different
hub
insert left, different right.
Yeah.
Fucking upside down.
Even my dad. My
backwards.
dad built my e-buggy for DNC so that the left side was all the way up and the right side was all the way down.
Listen, people, it's not really that complicated. Just put the fucking left and right, you know, align the holes correctly. It's not that hard.
Okay. So first of all, here is the chassis. Right goes on the right side of the car. You look for the car from behind and it goes to the right side of the car. You see? The image is mirrored, but anyway, it works the same thing, same way. So, right, R means right, L means left. Not so hard. You can see it from here. On the rear side, it's way further away from the big screw here than in the front. That's the way you know it, okay? Good? Then
You know what? We would actually laser engrave here, like this goes in the middle of the car. And this is the front. But you know what? We can't laser that because in China they would probably get that mixed up and then you'd be all messed up. So we can't do that. The maximum we can do is left and right, L and R. Then you need to figure the rest out.
okay, so the next step is the next level of the mount. So this is really worn out anyway, but I guess you can see the arrow here. There's an arrow. This arrow means that when it points forwards, the engine is forwards, and it points backwards, the engine is backwards. Okay? So if you want the engine all the way front, like you should have it, you put the arrow on the front, pointing towards the front. Like this. So the engine is all the way front. That's how you should run the engine. You are not going to put the R1 on the left side of the car. And then you are not going to put this one on the opposite side. Like opposite way. Like this. Not like this. Like this. Okay? Good. And then the next thing is, you can see here, there's like those little grooves. Those go on the outside, always on the outside, pointing toward out of the engine, okay? So after that, it's not that hard, okay?
So pitäisi tehdä tää Mike Hillin aksentilla.
Michael?
Yeah.
Mä pystyn tehdä sitä pitkään. Okei, mitä muuta? Okay, the shocks. I see some people put a lot of thread lock in here. And then when they open it, they cannot get back in because there's too much thread lock. So don't use too much thread lock. Also, when you build it, make sure you put silicone on the shaft, and then you put it in and see if it's smooth. If it's not smooth, open it, put more oil, and see if it's smooth. It should be good that way.
Yeah, always remember to lube up well, boys.
Also,
Oh god.
center diff mount. Use Loctite. Use Loctite here, all the screws here, and also the center screws on here. Not that hard.
See? Not that hard. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Most of the time, I don't really need to work on setup. I just look at the car and I can tell like 72 different things that are wrong. And just because you didn't bother reading the manual, didn't really... Mikä? Laita pöydän. You don't really pay attention to the details. It's really simple. The mechanics of a car is really simple, okay? So let's look at the basic things that normally are wrong. So first of all, if you take the shocks off, the suspension should move up and down freely. No binding anyway. That's really important, front and back. Second thing, some people over-tighten the screw here for the shock cap. So the shock cap is completely tight here. You see how this one moves? Can you see that? You can move it. It needs to be this way because the shock, as it compresses, the cap rotates. So this needs to be able to move. So if you really over-tighten this, you bend the washer here, then it smashes the cap there and it can't move. That makes a difference, you know? What else do people normally do? Well, just the basic. Ride height, check your ride height. Down travel. Most of the time, people's down travel is all over the place, and it makes a big difference. If you adjust the shock length just 1 mil, I can tell a difference. 2 mil, you can tell a difference. Seriously. So just make sure the down travel is correct.
Joo, sano silleen, että tökätkö käsillä sitä autoa ennen kuin te mittaatte sen.
Maavara siis.
Niin, kun ne yleensä...
Also, if we say on the setup sheet ride height's 27, you can actually measure it in different ways. The best way to do it is just take the car, drop it on the table, and then just leave it. Don't push it down because it's going to stay lower. Just drop the car and then measure the ride height. And for the down travel, when you measure the shock length, center to center, I normally work the suspension and then just tap on the wheel or the hub just to make sure it's all the way down and then measure. Do the same for both sides. Just to be consistent, to get it the same every time. And then the last thing, which I think is a common mistake. So we went over something binding in the suspension, the shock caps binding. Those are very common mistakes. And then the linkage. That's the last thing. So it's not really that complicated. I mean, I tried to make it easy. There's only one brake linkage, one throttle linkage. That's kind of how it should look. At neutral, there's a small gap here. You know that it closes the carb all the way. The linkage moves smoothly here. There's no binding in the brake linkage. Some people, they mount these at an angle or they mount them too low, or one is low, one is high. Like this really, I mean, just don't get it. It's so simple. It's just fucking 2 levers and a rod going through. Like, you can figure it out. You know, you don't need to call Keenan and cry on the phone and get him to explain it to you. Just look at it, figure it out. Jesus Christ. You know, so anyway, just make sure these are free and they move in all, you know, positions that the throttle goes to. It's supposed to move freely, look. Everything's free, awesome. It's so simple. I feel stupid explaining this, but I mean, people just get this wrong. I don't get it.
Hei, joku kysyi siitä takapään maavaran mittaamisesta. Mistä kohtaa sä mittaat? Mä mittaan siitä Kardanin alta.
Oh, for the ride height in the rear? Well, the best place is probably here, because the chassis wears out here, so, you know, after a while, your ride height's going to be different, right? So just, this is pretty consistent. Measure it right there. And for the front ride height, you measure it here. Oh look, Husky. Husky, I don't know why I did this. Who knows? Your rod does not go through much holes lately, says Keenan. I don't know what you're talking about. Prototype front, oh yeah, it's just these are 20-degree C hubs. We're gonna talk about those later. Just no anodizing. Yeah, the easy stuff on the build, you know, so making sure everything's free, the ride height is right, the down travel is correct, the camber angles are right, the toe angles are correct on the front, left and right tie rods for the steering are the same length. Just the really, really basic things. It's not even really set up, it's just building the car correctly. That's all I do. Then people go out, they drive it, oh, it's awesome now, what did you change? Yeah, nothing, I just fucking built it correctly, like you were supposed to do, you know? That, like we could almost end this Facebook Live now. Just do the basics correctly. Even Dengani said the same thing. After Silverstone, he was like, Jakey, your team guys are trying all this crazy stuff, doing all these crazy things, and then they asked me and I just said, just run the standard shit, you know? You don't need to change all this crap. We have really good starting setups. Just stick to that. Learn the track, make sure the basics are right, and the car is good. We've spent so much time developing these setups, and then so many of our drivers just go crazy, like completely different setups, and then they complain that their cars don't work. Well, probably the reason was for the car not working, that it's not built right and the basic stuff is right. Then they start doing crazy stuff with the setup to try and fix it. Well, that's not going to fix it, is it? Do you understand what I'm saying? So do the basics correctly, stick to the stock setup, and make small changes. And those changes are what we're going to talk about now. Why no one-piece pipe? Because I'm on a B team at Reds. They don't want to send me that shit.
Okay, so with the rear hub, well, obviously both hubs, front and rear, you can see sometimes when you build it, you get a slop like this. See? It's a slop. After you build the car, right? Next time you come, you rent your car, build it together again, and you see, oh, it's a slop like this. Then you take it out. You take the pin out. And you put in a shim like this. This shim, okay? You put it in. It fits like this. I don't know if you can see it. It's there, right there, the shim.
Behind the bearing.
Behind the bearing. You put the bearing in. You put the hex in. And then you screw it back together. Not that hard, you see? And then you see, there's no slop. No slop whatsoever. And it's still free, super free.
Can I try it? Free like America.
Yeah.
Free like America. It's still super free.
So you see, no slop. You don't need to buy new things and as it call us, oh, the white stuff wears out in like one tank. You just need to have some range in your head, you know?
Yeah, just shim it. Listen to the kid, he knows. Yeah, we should sell more shims, not more bushings. Okay, I like it sloppy though, says Keenan. Well, Keenan, you're a different breed. Okay, changes. Let's check the website. What the hell did I write on the website? Okay. Let's check the starting setup first. Okay, are you with me? Are you checking this? So the starting setup works on most tracks. Here we go. You should be familiar with this already. We've been running this for a long time. So long links, 12,000, 12,000, 4,000, something like that. You know, maybe 15, 10, 5, you know, close to that. 12, 12, 4 is what we put on the setup sheets. You know, maybe 10, 10, 4. You know, if you feel like it. But close to that, close to those diff oils. Gray springs, we drill our pistons. So you get the 1.2 2 pistons in the front, drill them to 1.25. Rear 1.3, and you drill them to 1.35. You might think, oh, that makes no difference. It's such a small change. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to run the stock 1.2, 1.4. The stock is okay, but this is a lot better, and it's really consistent from track to track. It's really worth doing. So 7 1.25 in the front, 7 1.35 in the rear. The THEQuagraine springs we use on loose to medium grip tracks. And then these are Mugen springs that I was testing. We use these sometimes. We've never raced with them yet, just trying these out. Something new to try. Our standard has been gray springs for loose to medium grip tracks, and then when we feel like the car is moving too much, so you can see it on the track. You go in the corner, it dives a lot. In the corner, it rolls a lot. Exit the corner on the throttle and it squats a lot. So the car is moving too much on the track. Then we go to the HB springs. So HB Racing yellow in the front and the rear, and that keeps the car more flat, and you can punch it more, drive it more aggressively, and the car will remain stable on the track. So that's for more medium to high grip tracks. That's what we run. And then lately we've been trying the Mugen springs. So the 9.0 in the front, and I cut 1.5 coils off so we can still adjust the ride height because they're a bit long, the spring. And on the rear, just the 10.75. And the difference with the Mugen spring is I noticed they do work on all different tracks, so low grip to high grip, but the difference is that it calms the car down. So the car becomes more stable or slow. Everything happens more slower. So it can have the effect that it feels good but is slow. So you have to pay attention to that also. So the springs is something that we would change on this basic setup depending on the track, just to find the best one. So THEQuagraine, HB, yellow, or then these Mugen, 9.0 front, 10.75 rear. Those are the 3 different springs that we use. Something to add, Max, on the spring thing? No. So basic setup, make sure you do the basics right. You go to a new track, figure out what spring to run. So you don't need to do big changes. If you notice that the car is moving a lot and there's a lot of grip on the track and it seems to be rolling and squatting and diving and all the movements are bigger than they should be, go to the HB yellow spring or go to the Mugen spring. That's going to solve that. And next thing, sway bars. Sway bars is something we changed too. So the stock is 2.3, 2.6. Every track it's going to be good. But if you feel like the track is loose and there are some hairpins, you don't have enough steering in, go to a thinner sway bar, 2.2 or maybe even 2.1. If you feel like when you get on power, the car isn't stable. Especially if there are long corners where you're on power, and if the grip is higher, then go up on the rear sway bar to a 2.8 from the 2.6. And that can even be the case on a loose track. A loose track where you have to drive really aggressively on power. Maybe when you get on power, the car squats, even though it's loose, the track is loose, it still squats and it doesn't feel stable. Maybe a thicker sway bar could solve that problem. So don't be afraid to try a thicker sway bar even on a loose track with this car. So those are really the first 2 changes we make immediately when we go to a track. So learn about these so you immediately know what to do. Sometimes we make the change even before our first practice because we already kind of know, oh, we can see that this track has grip. We can see this. Okay, so we're just gonna go with these springs and we're gonna go with these sway bars. So learn to know the difference between the different sway bars and the springs, and then you know what to do for different tracks. Okay? So first 2 setup items covered. Lue tuolta, jos tulee jotain hyviä kyssäneitä, kun en mä jaksa lukea.
Ja joku kysyy, että leikkaatko sä jotain jousia, mutta eihän me leikata mitään jousia.
Well, I said I cut the front Mugen spring, someone was asking. So the Mugen spring is too long, so you can't run the collar. The ride height will be too high. So I just cut 1.5 coils off the 9.0 spring, and then you can adjust the ride height. And so sway bars, springs, and let's say you do the sway bars and the springs and the car still feels kind of off. It still feels a bit off. Don't forget the importance of camber. Camber really, I mean, even Max is a bit too lazy. He just told me he never changes camber. He should, because it makes a big difference, especially on the rear. So I would say the front camber angle, it affects the steering feel, but it's not a huge difference. It's like just a comfort thing, I feel. So you can make the steering, you can fine tune the steering to be more comfortable around the track with the camber angle, but not a huge deal. But the rear camber can really make the car very hard to drive or super good. You don't change anything else, just the rear camber. So the best way to do this is to have someone in the pits adjusting camber for you, so you drive, you get comfortable, and then you start reducing the camber on the front, for example, until it gets worse. Then you go the other way, and it improves, gets worse. Then you go back and you kind of narrow down the window where the car feels the best. And either direction of that is a bit worse. And then you do the same for the rear. And the reason I said that the rear camber can make a car really good or bad is that when you have too much camber, you are going to lose traction suddenly. So you might have a situation where you go in the corner and then suddenly, boom, you lose rear grip. Now, you might start doing all kinds of different things to the setup, but maybe you don't need to. Maybe just reduce camber, so you stand up the rear wheels a bit. Maybe then you go in the corner and you just have grip. You never lose the traction that way. If you don't have enough camber, then what's going to happen is when you're a good enough driver, you can tell the difference. You don't lose the traction suddenly. There comes this point where you have like too much, and you can tell that it's about to break loose, and then it eventually breaks loose. So it's a different feeling. It goes from grip to nothing when you have too much camber. When you don't have enough, there's like, it's gripping. You can tell it's gonna go, and then it goes. So it's a different feeling. You have to learn it yourself. That's the best way I can explain it. So adjust camber both ways and find the best setting. And it really makes a big difference on this car. All cars are not the same, but on this car it makes a big difference. I think the Kyosho is the same way. If you're HB, probably not, you know, because it's so sloppy every which way, right? Probably it doesn't make a difference. No, it does, even on the HB, just not as much. But the Kyosho, I know, if they adjust the camber just a bit, it makes a big difference to lap times and handling. Same on this car. So don't forget about camber. What else? So from the basic setup, we've found the right spring, we're happy with our sway bars, we've adjusted camber. How else can you improve the car? What else do we do? Diff oils. Diff oils, we use that to fine-tune the handling and try and find some more speed. Front diff, we tend to stay within 10 to 15,000. Thinner oil, more off-power steering, more responsive. Thicker oil, more calm. Good, especially if the track is difficult, if it's rough, higher grip. You go up on the oil, off power, less steering, easier to go into the corner. Get on the power, more steering, more drive. So you just find what works. Normally on the front, the thicker you can go, the better. So just make sure you have enough steering into the corner. Center diff, we normally stay between 10 to 20,000. I would say that the thickest center diff you can get away with running is the best. That's going to be the fastest car. And when I say get away with running, I mean when the center diff is too thick, when you get on the power, the rear can break loose. So the car can feel loose on power. The car is fine, then you get on power to accelerate and it feels loose, like the rear end wants to break away, or it's really bad in bumps, you can't control it in bumps. Then the center diff is too thick, so then you would go thinner in the center diff oil.
Mä haettiin Ruotsin silloin, kun me oltiin treenaa, niin me oli 15 minuuttia.
Oliko? Ja se oli hyvä.
Se oli hyvä. Silloin kun oltiin Eskilstunassa treenaa.
Niin, meillä oli edessä takana järkeä.
Niin.
So for example, the Sweden Euros track, fast flowing track, but really bumpy and loose in sections. So we found out that if we had a really thick front diff, so it wouldn't want to dive into the corner so much, calm it down, and a thick rear diff, so the rear doesn't want to spin out, so the rear has good traction entering corners, then we would run a thin center diff. And what that would do is the car would be very stable entering the corner, then we get on the power and it would still be stable because the front and rear would have drive, yes, because of the thick front diff and thick rear diff, but the center diff being loose or thin would make it so the car would have traction. It would diff out and the front would be pulling more than the rear, so the car never wanted to step out. It would handle the bumps really well, so when the car went over the bumps, the diff would diff out and the car would accelerate smoothly. So yeah, so center diff you can play around with depending on the track, the traction, the bumps, just to get it to where it's stable on power. And the thickest you can make the center diff, the better. The best, I think. The thicker the better on the center diff. Rear diff. Rear diff, also the tuning window is quite big. Normally we run like 4,000 or 5,000 in the rear, that's it. But on some tracks, like this Sweden track for example, so the corners were very wide and open and the layout was flowing and high speed. Then we ran a thicker rear diff, because a thick rear diff, what it does is, it doesn't really want to turn going into the corners. So it's easier to go into a corner. And then it maintains the corner speed well, and when you get on power, it has a lot of drive. So on a track like that, it's good. Then imagine you go to Thunder Alley or let's say Neo Buggy when it was at Harper Adams. It wouldn't be good because you have tight hairpins, a thick rear diff doesn't want to go through those, and also difficult off cambers and loose traction and bumps and weird jumps, and you have to be really precise and technical and fast. Thick rear diff isn't good there. So I would say the safest bet is to go 4,000 or 5,000, but when the track allows it, you can be faster if you go up on the diff oil. So, in conclusion, 10 to 15,000 in front, 10 to 20,000 in center, 4 to 15,000 in rear. That's what we run.
Joku kysyi siitä, että siitä välyksestä, sano se mitä autoa laitetaan sisään.
Mikä välys?
Siis joku kysyi silleen, että onko parempi silloin kun on väliauto vai silloin kun on vähemmän väliauto.
Someone was asking about play on the car. So if it's good when the car is new or after it's worn out. So I think the Black Edition is a car which, when it's brand new out of the box, all the tolerances are pretty tight. So you need to run it. Maybe you run it for half a gallon or so. I would say half a gallon. And then it's really good. And it stays good for how long?
No, 3 gallon ainakin.
I don't know. Max said 3 gallons. Max said 3 gallons. And then the play does have an effect. Like, it's not as good as when it was 1 or 2 gallons old. And that's because of the excessive play. So you can shim the bearing bushings here, like he showed you. Or maybe you need to replace the arms. So you replace the arms. Maybe your top links and balls are worn out a bit, so you replace those. Just to get all the fittings back to, back and reduce the slop. And it does make a difference. The car drives more solid. It's more precise and controllable, I feel. Especially on high grip, I would say. It does make a difference.
Sitten joku kysyy kastreista.
Joo, mä puhun siitä myöhemmin. Okay, what else did we change? So we covered diff. Okay, rear end. There's some stuff we do on the rear end. So we're running the stock setup. The only things we've changed now. New track for us. We weren't very confident. Car wasn't right. We changed springs. Okay, it improved. Changed sway bars. Okay, it improved. We adjusted the diff oils a bit. We went thinner on the front diff to get more steering. Center diff we kept the same. Rear diff we kept the same. Okay, now the car is going in the right direction, but it's still not quite right. There are some bumps forming on the track, and the rear doesn't want to go over the bumps smoothly. Let's say that's a problem. Well, then we would reduce anti-squat. So I think on the stock setup here, starting setup, yes, I put 2 degrees anti-squat. That's going to be a fast setup. Good steering, good acceleration, good support for the rear. Well, now we have a problem where it doesn't want to go through the bumps. So we reduce anti-squat. So here, the C plate, we lower from the 0 pill, we go 1 all the way down. So less angle on the rear arm. From 2 degrees to 1 degree. Now the car will go over the bumps smoother. We solved that. Awesome. Now we're happy again. Go through the bumps. Then we are noticing that with our stock setup, it's a bit slow in hairpins. We still need a bit more steering. And the grip has gone up, so we have really good grip on the track. Well, one thing we can do is we have this insert here, the plastic insert in the rear hub. The one that most people put in one direction in one side and then the opposite on the other, and they're all messed up. You know that one. So these inserts here, so you can adjust the height, and also we have towing. So we tend to only run the 0, which is 0 towing, or 1 for 1 degree towing on the hub. And standard starting setup is 1 degree. So, as I said, we don't have enough steering in some corners, maybe the car feels a bit slow in the corner, and we have good grip on the track and good rear grip. Well, we just reduce the towing here, we take it out. So we put the same insert in, just put the 0 instead of the 1. That would mean that we don't have towing in the hub anymore. Car will rotate more corner speed, and we still have enough rear grip, so we don't need the towing in there. Okay. Arm height. Okay, arm height is something that we're probably gonna have a conclusion to the arm height thing after Bitty Design contest, because I've only been testing this now a few times on 2 different tracks. So we really need to go to a race and figure out the arm height thing. But what we've been running is so 0s in all blocks, which is the middle setting, and from there all the way down. And for the starting setup, I put them all the way down just to see how people like it, because when you lower the arm all the way down, the car feels a bit softer, a bit more forgiving, it has more grip, and I think it will be better for most people on most tracks. That's why I put them all the way down. So on the front, you lower the arm, same angle, just lower the whole arm, you'll have more steering. Rear, you'll have more grip. So when you do it front and rear, the whole car should just feel a bit more forgiving, softer, and have more grip. So I want you to try that. Now, when could it be bad? It could be bad on tracks where the grip is high enough to where the car is moving a lot. And maybe in the corner, it rolls and then it kind of slows down. It scrubs the speed of the car. Then maybe raising the rear arm to the middle again would be faster. The car would carry the corner speed more. That's what I want to try here in Italy for the Bitty Design race, to find out what the best arm height is. But again, so from the middle to all the way down, that's the range we are working with. It's only 1 mil, but it makes a big difference on the track. So you can go to the middle, 0.5 mil down and 1 mil down. Okay, so now, if you've been paying attention, you've noticed that we haven't made major changes. We go to a different track, we learn the track, we drive around the track, we figure out, oh, the car isn't exactly right. And what do? Go to the pits, make sure everything's right. Ride height, down travel, everything's free. Linkage is correct, endpoints are correct. That's another thing. When you check the steering endpoints, do it with wheels on, car on the table. Push down on the front end, turn the wheel all the way. It should turn all the way to steering lock. If not, add endpoint. If you do it with the wheels in the air, it needs to be trying to turn further than the endpoint. The servo needs to go further than that. Because when it's on the ground, it has to eliminate all the slop everywhere, and then also the tires are gripping on the ground, so it needs to turn harder and further to get the wheels to turn all the way. A lot of people make that mistake too. They don't have the end point set far enough. So okay, we're back in the pits. We checked everything over, made sure everything's good. We found a few mistakes, we go back out there, car improves. Next thing we do, springs, sway bars, camber, diff oils. What else? Toe-in, anti-squat, arm height. That's pretty much it. You don't need to do major changes. You don't need to go lay the shocks all the way over, changing pistons, doing this, doing that. You don't need to go crazy. You don't even need to touch the camber links. They're good. Just run it. No need to change the Ackerman. It's good. Run it. Keep it simple. Okay. Well, then we go to a way different track. And now we have some serious issues. So serious that I'm going to need a drink. And Max is going to give you a really good tech tip. And then we're going to continue. We're going to continue with the edgy, hard to drive track that gives you gray hairs and is pissing you off. You're just driving and then the car just flips over for no apparent reason. And the marshal is super slow. You almost have a nervous breakdown. The next lap, doing the same thing and it's just fine. Nothing happens. And the next lap, same thing, and it just flips over again. You just can't explain it. And you look at your car like, why are you doing that to me? Why are you doing this to me? Like, why are you just flipping over for no reason? You know? So we have a solution for that. And I'm going to explain it next. But first, Max with his special tech tip. Get to your back. No pain.
Okay.
Okay. He got something.
So someone asked about the arm. We used the Dremel 2 millimeters back, but now it's only 1. So it's just 1 millimeter Dremel back. Oh, he does it too, but I do just 1 millimeter. That's enough for me. So usually, I guess you can see it here. The new arm should have it done already. This is one of the old arms, but the new one should be done at the factory already.
For down travel.
For down travel, yeah. But someone said. Yeah, so it catches a droop tab, binds on it. No, it just the screws comes to the side, so it wears a bit more, but that's fine. I mean, it's just more wear, but I guess if you want the performance, you have to sacrifice something for it.
Yeah, you can see it here. Look.
Yeah, so it catches to the side. I have only 1 millimeter, but if you have it 2, it will obviously be.
It still works, but
back.
it's just on the edge.
Yeah, it will wear down more, obviously, but you just have to make sacrifices for your speed, you know. Not that hard. Give me. What's the stock ABCD? Yeah, no, we don't use different blocks. I don't know what he set up, what he did a few weeks before. That's different.
We're not talking about that.
Yeah, that's we're still developing that setup. It wasn't good. Okay, so this one guy said he likes the shocks laid down. I mean, it makes the car really, really easy to drive, but it's really slow. I tried it, I like it, but it's really slow.
Okay, enough of that fucking tech tips.
Oh, wait, there's one more. Do you prefer a new setup or the last? Yeah, longer front shot, no. Yeah, I prefer the one we used before, not the one he said.
Yeah, the one I'm talking about now, Daniel. Go on the website, check it out. Starting setup. The developmental setup I only posted because people were crying so much. And now you can't figure it out. See? Can you just fucking let me work, figure everything out, and then make it easy for you? So I'm never gonna listen to anyone again like that. I'm just gonna do my own thing. Works better that way. Okay, mihin me jäätiin?
Sun piti selittää, miksi auto kaatuu väliin.
Oh yeah, flipping over. Pissing you off. So like the DNC Open class winning setup here, basically. We're in the pits trying to figure this out, how we're gonna get Max to win, and then we figured it out. It's a magic combination of changes we do here. Keenan, I'm never gonna listen to you again. Actually, it was kind of Keenan. It was everyone else too. Just peer pressure. Yeah. Camber adjustment blew my mind once. See, James Riley, his mind was blown. And he's a techno guy now, right, James? Try adjusting camber on techno, won't make a fucking difference. Sorry, I shouldn't swear. Okay. Edgy, yeah. So you're just out there on the track, driving around, and your car just flips over. You can't figure it out. That's why we developed this setup. So your starting point, basic setup, starting setup, and it's not good. It's flipping over. What do? The track is edgy. It's like DNC. Like Joey decides to water one corner, and then he, I don't know, gets distracted, goes off the track, pump brakes, whatever I don't know. The stars and the moon just didn't align, so he just couldn't water the whole track. Just one section, okay? Then the fucking bobcat broke in one corner and ripped up some section there, and it's all messed up and bumpy and edgy, and then the hose broke in another corner, and it was like super wet, and people were walking around, and there's footprints over there, and all kinds of crazy shit going on that track, right? Yeah. Then someone found a rock in the track and dug it up and left a big hole. So it's just a minefield out there, You just don't know what you're gonna get. And then the grip comes up. Then it's like, oh my God. Now we really can't get around the track. So what do? You go to this setup. Let's check it out. Let's see what the difference is. Let's see. I'm gonna have to check my notes here. Okay. There's a combination of changes we do to the rear end. Are you paying attention now? Get on with it. You get on with it. Rear hub. We move it backwards. Backwards is that way. On this video, backwards is down. 2 shims in the front, 2 shims in the rear. Normally we run 1 shim here, 3 shims there. Now we move it back 1 shim. So 2 there, 2 there. Understand? Moving the hub back will make the car better in the bumps. Going straight through bumps, car's just going to be magically better. It's amazing. Makes a big difference. Then, we don't just do that. We do something else too. This insert here. So we have different, you people just always mess up these inserts. I'm just going to show them to you. Just please get this right. Okay. Stock setup. You see how the hole is all the way to the end there. And we run it this way too. So the hole all the way up. That's stock setup. What we do is throw this in the trash. We put this one in there. Hole in the middle. You see that? So we raise the hub. Use the middle insert on a rough, edgy track. If you're not quite sure what's going on, you can also compromise. You can use this one. Dot above. So the hole is halfway between all the way up and the middle. But compromises normally suck. You don't get the best of both worlds. I mean, you don't get the best of either world. You're like in the middle, no man's land. Like, why go for average when you can go for the best, right? So, we moved the hub 1 step back, 2 shims there, 2 shims there. We raised the hub, middle insert here. Combination of changes. Moving the hub back, the car goes well through bumps, just straight through bumps. In a corner though, raising the hub here, it's not going to want to catch so much anymore. It's going to slide over the bumps. You're going to have less side bite. So that it's not going to catch and want to flip the car over. It's going to slide over more. So raise the hub. Then what do we do? Well, the roll center changed too. So we compensate. We take this link here and we move it up. And moving this link up lowers the roll center. So move the hub back, raise the hub, raise the link here. 3 changes. You have to do all those 3 changes. And that's going to help solve the problem. Wow. Did you follow me there? Yeah, Tyler Henderson is online. That's never good. Anyway, do all those 3 changes together. Then, another thing. A small piece of magic I just figured out lately. Kind of actually knew this before. I don't know why I haven't been doing it. Too many things, too many different things. Hexes. So, on an edgy track, try running the stock hexes, not the +1s. Because what can happen is the +1s give the car more grip. So on a loose track, you put the +1s on, it's like, oh, it's more stable, it's good now, oh wow. But then on an edgy track, you don't want the car to catch everything and have grip. You want it to slide more. You want to go in the corner and just go around the corner, not kind of, oh, catch this, you know, and correct there and all that bullshit. So just take the +1 hexes off, front and rear, and put the standard ones on. And what happened for me on one bumpy, rough, crazy track was I put them on and it just smoothed it out. Repeat, please. Keenan, just shut up. I've repeated this so many times. Go back and watch it. So, take the +1s on and put the stock hexes on an edgy track and see if that helps. Front and rear. Don't listen to Grace. Salty Joe, shut it. C-hub. Let's talk about C-hubs. We have a new C-hub. This one is silver because it was a sample. We don't have anodizing. Now we do, and they did actually put a 20 on them. Originally we had 18s and they put 19s on. Well, then they fixed it later on. Now, first batch they actually got it right, I believe. It says 20 on them, so that's good. So, tough track, edgy, car is nervous. Try the 20-degree C-hubs. It smooths everything out. Ever worth using 2mm hexes? Well, some crazy people do. I never do. But, you know, I'm not crazy now. Lost a hex pin. What else? What else? Pistons. Okay, let's talk about pistons. I just said we never change pistons, and now I'm going to talk about changing pistons. Genius. So, if you're really in the shit, you've made all these changes, and your car still feels not quite right. Something's wrong. It's just not going through the bumps well. Just nervous. Doesn't feel soft and plush and good. Try changing pistons. We ran 6 1.4s front and rear. Really good. Same oils as the 7 1.25, 7 1.35. 6 1.4s front and rear. I don't know how. Ran the same oils. They were good. Dialed. The car was more plush. Went through the bumps good. It was more calm. It felt softer going around the track, but it was really good. Landed well. Try it if you're on a hard track. What else? What else? 6 1.3s, we haven't really tried them in the front yet, so can't comment on that. So it's kind of work in progress. Like the arm height, pistons, work in progress. But 6 1.3s, 1.4s, we ran 1.4s front and rear. 2 other things, 2 other notes I'd like to make. That's like 95% there. One other thing to do. The steering knuckle. This will actually work with both setups. The starting setup and this edgy track setup. So we have kingpin inclination. So when you have 0 camber, the kingpins are inclined towards the inside. So wheel is like this and kingpins are inclined. Not that much, obviously, you know, trying to make a point here. What this inclination does, the reason we put it standard on the Black Edition, we wanted to make the car so it's really smooth going in the corner. So you can be like, if you're a bit nervous and your hands are shaking, the car's just going to go straight. Then when you really want to turn in the corner, then it's just going to, oh well, I'm going to turn now. and then turn in. So it's really smooth going in the corner. Then you're like, mid-corner, you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna overshoot the corner, turn more. Like, I need the car to turn, then it turns. So mid and exit, it turns more. So that inclination makes the car have non-linear steering, where initially it's not a lot of steering, then in the corner more. Well, the problem with this is, when you make the car to, when you set the car up to have a lot of steering overall, and track is a bit difficult, maybe there's a line and then there's a bit of dust outside the line or whatever, you can go in the corner good and then spin out mid-corner, or when you get on the gas, it wants to spin out, because that thing is happening. You set the car up to have a lot of steering in the corner, into the corner, and then mid-corner it oversteers. So when you take this off, it's going to be more linear. So it's going to have the same steering in, middle, out. You just turn the wheel more. So that's why we changed the setup now to this, because we want to go as fast as possible. We want to have a lot of steering into the corner, not be super lazy in and then have steering. We want to be very precise, and if we have to turn inside of someone, we can. And we don't need to risk spinning out mid-corner then. So it's still an option worth trying. So on some tracks, it could be good to run the knuckle with inclination. So if you're in a situation where you really want the car to be, where the track is in a way where that traction is very consistent, so there's no risk of spinning out anywhere, and you feel like you want the car to be easy to point into the corners, and then you still want good steering in the corner, then try this knuckle. But for most tracks, most conditions, it's a bit sketchy, it's a bit hard to drive, hard to predict what the car is going to do in the corner. Just run the zero inclination ones, the old ones, the one from the White Edition LV. That's what we've been running now to some, good success. Okay, and what happens if you have too much steering? Normally what happens if you have too much steering is the rear will slide out, so you're going to spin out, or you have too much steering on a very high grip track, you're going to flip over. Another thing, and this is now, lower level guys now, sportsman class, go to bed. I've basically covered everything you need to know. Now we're going to go into this kind of developmental area again, and it's just not for you. So I'm just going to sit here for like 1 minute and have a drink and stare into space, and Max is going to come over and give you some really good advice. And then I'd like all the sportsman guys to go to bed, because I don't want to hear any questions about what I'm going to explain next. So just go to bed and don't even listen, okay? Just don't even listen.
To Edward, the carbon fiber shock tower just looks cool, and it's like 5 grams lighter. 7 grams lighter. So yeah, you won't notice in a track, but it looks cool. That's about it. From the shock tower for Edward. He asked about it.
You forgot the tech tip. Give
Tech
some
tip?
good, valuable
Tech tip.
advice.
Okay, I need
Quickly, some
I need
valuable
to figure out
advice.
something.
121 people are watching.
I need
You
to
think
figure
of
out something, dude. What do I need to...
Mitä sä yleensä käännät, eikö muu yleensä käännää? Wait, we have to think of something. We just have to think of something.
Okay, I have one thing. Okay,
Oh,
so here, many people run it. Okay, it's really dirty. Don't blame me for that. But some people run it the Ackerman plate, so it's really sloppy. Like this one, it's speed run. I haven't drenched it in a while. It's sloppy, you see? But under here, you can see that there's a shim. I've shimmed it before, so that it's less sloppy like this. So when you shim it, obviously there will be less slop, and also it will wear less. So it's better that way, you know. Slap him. Okay. The front graphite tires will break. It's like no way. You don't need it in front. Ported shock caps. Yeah, you can buy them if you want, but you don't need them. I prefer the ones stock. Stock ones are good. with emotion, obviously. You need to cut the bladders. Will you bring pods to Italy to try? I guess not.
To try?
Yeah.
What do you mean to try?
Yeah, I think we are not bringing any, like...
We're flying.
We're flying, yeah. We're pretty tight on the weights. Shit, why hasn't Jakey said that before, for fuck's sake? What's that? I don't know. I get, do you mean the steering? But yeah, shim the steering. You know? Shim it. Make it like it's not sloppy, like this one. This is bad. And also, okay, the servo saver. Make sure you put it tight like this from the beginning. Because some people just put it like just about here. And then when you use it, it will like the plastic part here, it will have like I don't know what you call it in English, but we call it like it will be like really smooth, like glass, you know? So it will be so slippery that it won't have any grip on the aluminum part. And then it will just be like, even though you have this all the way down, it will have no effect because it's so smooth here. So you want either Dremel it and then build it again, or you just build it right the way you do it like the first time, like this. So put it at least at this point the first time you build it. You rather have it at lock than have it too loose, because then you have to rebuild it again. If you run good servos, you can have it on lock. It's fine. Yeah, polished. Yeah, I guess that's the word. Which shim did you use? Oh yeah, I used the shim that you use for the diffs. So I don't know the size, but you used it for the diff. The diff for the big gear in the diff, inside the diff. The shim that is under the big gear inside the diff. Those shims. Those also work for the these ones here. Because you put this one here, the steering, and you see you have a bit slop here. Like it's a gap here. So you want to shim this too, so there will be less slop.
Okay, no one cares anymore. You just get out of here.
Wait. How to tell you? The only thing that's gonna make a difference is tires and shock.
Goes without dicks. That's what we're gonna have.
Yeah, I prefer that too. We don't have E-clips in this car.
E-clip.
E-clip.
Someone said E-clip. Oh my god, that's enough. That's enough. We need to move on. Okay. Like my afro? I think I'm not gonna cut my hair anymore this year. Maybe after the Worlds I'll cut my hair. How about that? What do you say about that? Salty Joe, shut up!
Next time
Max is
Joseph
gonna
wins a
bet.
race, he's gonna cut his hair.
That?
Next time you win a race, you cut your
Yeah,
hair.
next time I win a race, I'll cut my hair. Okay? Bastard. Okay, by the way, look at that shock shaft. You see? DLC. Woohoo! Anyway. So, now that all the sportsman drivers are in bed, that goes for you too, Captain Club Race. I know you're watching. Bedtime. Go to your special room. The boss is waiting. Anyway, let's talk about something we've been working on here. So, been running the outside hole on the arm. Normally, always the middle. Always middle, one out from outside here on the tower. Good. Dialed. Never changed that. But now we've been running the outside hole in the arm. But to do that, we need a different shock end. So we use the long one from HB. Part number, I don't know. HB1 long. I don't know. Just Google it, for fuck's sake. Okay, I'll tell you the number. Jesus Christ.
Mitä sun mainosta, mikä on kuunneltu osia? Mitä se myy?
No, vähän pakko, kun ihmiset on niin tyhmiä. HBS 67820. It's long. Then this ball let's check if the Jakey ball fits. Jesus Christ.
No balls, only for Savoia. Growing hair on like Kaepernick, yeah.
Mitä?
Joku sanoi, että susta tulee niinku Kaepernick, semmonen, tiiäks, tosi pitkä afro.
The JQ balls actually fit. Balls are compatible. It's a bit loose. It's a bit loose. Maybe it's just worn out. Let's see. What the fuck's going on here? You know what? This is a bit loose too. So why do I have to do all the work? See, we went all developmental again. Mental. Focus on mental. I should never have done this. Okay, let's measure the balls. Who has bigger balls? JQ or HB? Okay, what do you think? JQ has loose balls. Savoya needs balls. What is the world coming to?
Don't cut your head, yeah.
What kind of size is that? 6.85. Jesus. Who designed this thing? Maybe it's a question like, who manufactured this thing? Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with my balls, to be honest. I honestly don't know. Just get that HB long shock end and not long, just a big ball here. And that's gonna be good, okay? And then you can make the shock length 106. See, perfect, 106. 106, long HB ball, big ball, and 106. Then you run the outside hole here. Now, what happens? This is the interesting thing, the fascinating thing. It makes the car more responsive. So you're driving fast, you want to get in the corner, it fucking just turns in the corner, like, boom, it's in there, you know? But then it also offers more support. So you go in the corner really aggressively because the car just turns in. But then in the corner, it supports the front end. So the car doesn't dive on the front end as much. The shocks are supporting the front end. So going fast, you have enough steering, and then it supports the front in the corner. So maybe something worth trying. But again, only for the more advanced JQ racers out there. Sportsman drivers, stick to the starting setup. Okay, stick to this. Don't buy HB long shock ends and big balls. Do not do it. Sportsmen and intermediate drivers, stick to the standard setup. Starting setup or starting edgy setup. If I see anyone in sportsman class with an HB shock end on their car running outside, I'm going to lose my nuts. Is that even a saying? Did I just make that shit up? I am gonna freaking lose my nuts. Seriously. Don't do it. Sportsman drivers, stick to the starting setup. Just like Captain Club Race, you know? Captain Club Race, for 17 years, he posted the same setup. Same fucking racing and 5-degree neo buggy to 100-degree Palm Desert on a fucking Velcro track with a TLR. That back then it was a Team Losi, right? Captain Club Race would run the same setup. You know why he did that? There's two options. One, he's just a liar and he doesn't want to give away his secrets. Two, he knows the truth. He knows that sportsman drivers are going to copy his developmental shit and go nuts because they can't figure it out. No, he put 17 years. He wrote the same setup sheet and just said, listen, you people, sportsman drivers, run this setup. It works. Okay? So I am following in Captain Club Race's footsteps now. No more developmental shit for sportsman drivers. Just run the basic shit. We worked really hard to make this setup good. It works. Run it. Stop. Fucking do not buy HB long shortens. You don't need them. Okay? Sportsmen and intermediate JQ drivers. You do not need this part. Take this part and throw it in the trash. Serious. Take your car, make sure the suspension moves free. Make sure the down travel is correct. Make sure the shock caps can move freely. Okay? Make sure you put the same insert over here as you put over there. Okay, same height. Make sure the plus sign is to the inside so you have your toe in, not toe out. Make sure you put the right pistons in, right springs. Make sure you put the engine mounts the right way. You know, make sure you did the basics right. Then look at the setup sheet and just copy that. Don't worry about this more advanced, developmental, pro class shit. Save you a lot of gray hairs. Keenan says, yes, I'm going to paint my body windows and run HB long shock ends just to piss JQ off. Keenan, you're not going to run your car. How about that? Aren't you below sportsman, Keenan? Mental is right. Okay, glad I got that off my chest.
Of your balls.
Yeah, I'm glad I got that off my balls. I'm gonna lose my nuts. That's a good saying. I'm gonna use that. I just did use that. What an idiot time. Okay, are we almost done here? Onko jotain ideoita vielä?
Can you have some jokes, questions?
Any questions?
Can you have a joke competition?
Yeah, let's have a joke. Okay, let's have a joke competition. Whoever writes the best joke wins. Mitä voittaa? Mitä me voidaan antaa? Ei meillä ole varaa antaa mitään. Mitä se voittaa? Equal Threads joku paita. Eikö se olisi hyvä? Nekin on vitu kalliita.
Ei me jaksa lähettää mitään. Jos sä näet ne livenä, niin sä voit antaa hallintaa jotain.
Okay. Alright. So whoever thinks of the best joke and writes it here, I'm gonna buy them an ice cream the next time I meet them. And mitä muuta? Yeah, something to do with Keenan. We have to get Keenan in this somehow.
Oho. Pallot lentää.
Shit, I can't come up with anything now.
Pallot lensi.
Max lost his balls. Mitä me keksitään? Where on earth am I going to find a set of white edition LV knuckles? I don't know. Check AMN. Jesus Christ. Beach RC. Let's check Beach RC. What's the part number, Max? JQB 381?
Ei niin. Eiku. Joo, 8. 381, 382.
Oisko?
On.
Just join Beach Nation, Facebook. Can you stop with the pop-ups already? Trying to order some parts. In Spam Nation. Come on, Beach RC. Where are the LV knuckles? Okay, let's check AMAIN. Screw Beach RC. They didn't have them. Okay, AMAIN does the part numbers weird. How is it? JQPB? JQPB? How do they do this? Oh, for fuck's sake. Your mama's so fat, the police said you're... Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my, JP, fucking in the house. Two Finnish guys, a priest and a monkey, walk into a bar. Two Finnish guys, a priest and a monkey. Well, what next, Mike Walker? Why do blondes have square tits? I don't know, Liam. Why? I can't. Lefty. Salty Joe. It didn't tell a joke, but he said play Lefty's voice note. So sometimes I don't pick up my phone, or sometimes I send Keenan Lefty a message, and sometimes he just sends me voice messages. And this one time, he sent me this rather epic voice message. I'll post it online one day. It was really pleasant to hear. Where's your car you're running at, Bitty? It's right here. Better start rebuilding. Max can do that tomorrow. Okay, what about these jokes? Who has a good joke here? They don't have all the parts at BHRC, idiot. Well, Mr. fucking sales manager, why not? It's on the setup sheet, we're running this. Get on it. This is how we deal with our internal struggles here at JQ Racing. Facebook Live. Come on, Keenan, you're sales manager. BHRC should have these parts. He should have 10 of them. 10 of each. Minimum. And when he has 9, he orders freaking 10 more. What do you tell a girl with 2 black eyes? Oh my God. I probably don't even want to know. I said jokes. What's the difference between snowman and snow women? Listen, I said jokes, don't ask questions. Fuck. Now we're gonna have like, and we're just gonna have an answer, and we're gonna be like, is this for the snowman or the girl with 2 black eyes? How the fuck are we supposed to figure these jokes out? Maybe the answer could work for a snow woman or a woman with 2 black eyes. You know, did you ever consider this fact? If you want to share a joke, then just write the whole freaking joke in one message. You know? Hey, what's the difference between a snowman and a snow woman? I'm running HB Shocken. It doesn't work, people. Focus.
Maybe we need to invite the sportsmen back. Maybe they know this part.
Yeah, maybe the sportsmen actually know how to tell jokes. And the guys left here are just too professional, you know? Too serious. You know? Can't tell jokes. Reed McMichael, he had a good joke. Okay, Reed, maybe, does Reed win this? Max, this is his joke. So Reed McMichael had a good joke. Associated AIDS. I can't do this. Oh my God. I'm gonna try and do this now with a straight face. I can't. Reed McMichael's joke. So Reed McMichael's joke was associated 8-scale buggy. I did it. I made it through it with a straight face. That was a pretty good one. That was a good one. See, now he's saying fries. Fries. Someone just randomly commented fries here. That obviously is now an answer to one of the jokes. So now we're going to have to scroll back and see how is fries relevant to this freaking conversation. Fries. He says fries. Well, what kind of joke is that? Fries. How do I scroll back on the laptop? How are we going to figure this out now? What was his name? Your mama's so fat, that's a whole joke. Okay. Two Finnish guys and a priest and a monkey walk into a bar. Fries. Oh, that's hilarious, people. Jesus Christ. We have to do better than this. I can't play a voice message because I'm on my phone on Facebook Live. Snowballs. Okay, this one's obvious. This one's obviously the one for the woman with two black eyes. Snowballs, you know? Square titties. Fall for that one. What's the answer for the square titties one anyway?
Yeah.
Liam?
I know that too.
What's the answer for that? Ask Max what he learned from my story I told you at the hotel. Told him. What? What story?
At which one? At Model 6?
Which hotel, Keenan? Too many hotels.
Yeah, we were balling out back then. We were at 2 hotels. The whole trip.
Turn left to go straight in turns. What the? This is going downhill. Seriously. Was that a joke or a question or what was going on?
You see the Cars movie, right? There the doc tells the McQueen that you have to turn the opposite way.
Yeah.
In the Cars movie?
He's talking about the Cars movie. That's it. That's how old he is. Anyway, Chuck the Bellend had a good joke. See, he understands how to do this. So he writes a question. Why did the chicken cross the road? Then you have to click read more and then you see the freaking answer in the same message. Okay? Can you please figure this out for yourselves? So, why did the chicken cross the road? To get some HB Yellow Springs. That's good. He made up a joke. It's relevant to what we've been talking about. Okay? Chuck the Bellend is leading right now. Actually, Reed McMichael, he was pretty good too. I might have to buy 2 ice creams. That was a good one. Anthony also, I run HB Shock Ends. Is he just spamming up? Anthony, you're supposed to spam Captain Club Race, not us. Jesus. I need to watch this at 6 a.m. this morning. I'm cracking up over here. Well, I hope you can stay together. You've got a long day ahead of you. JQ Racing. JQ making the main at the Worlds. I don't even know if I'm going to the Worlds. Freaking 10 days in Australia. Holy shit. I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She looked surprised. Yeah. 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 Equals Mugen. What the hell is that in response to? They forgot to take the tissues out the boxes. What? A square tits? I don't get it. No, neither of us get it.
I guess it's because they use a lot of padding. Like they use tissues as padding.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
That might be some English thing with, you know.
Yeah.
There must be some English thing, Liam. You're hanging around the wrong crowd. Is there any discretion to the limit of our job?
Se on toinen kerta, kun se on kaatunut itsestään. Toi imuri. Täällä on jotain vitun paranormal activity. Me pitää ottaa kamera.
Salty Joe. What do you call a cow without legs? Ground beef. Oh yeah, that's fucking awesome. That's good. That's good. Rick's here. This is my joke. Top 25. Sorry, had to do it. Had to do it. Can a kangaroo jump higher than a house? Of course, a house doesn't jump at all. It's too predictable. I knew that. What does a cloud wear under his raincoat? A thunderwear. What do you call JQ in a janky hotel in Bolivia? I don't know. What do you call him? Okay. Here's a joke. What did the leper say to the prostitute? Okay. Hey, I told this joke in America and clearly overestimated the intelligence of the waitress at Hooters. I think it was, right, Keenan? She just didn't know what leprosy was. I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, what did the leper say to the prostitute? You can keep the tip. Sean Smith, I just don't get it. Myrtle Beach. It was in Myrtle Beach after the race, yeah. Yep, not too bright. Okay, what next? Any more tech tips? Everything's okay now? We cover all the basic setup, sheesh and all that. What else can we talk about here? Something else we need to cover? Nats predictions. The Nationals. US Nationals. Maybe a Canadian could win. Just to piss off the Americans. No. Who has been good now? Mayfield is good. Testman is good. Tebow's been strong. Where's this? Florida? Okay, J Concepts is going to be good. Maybe Mayfield could take this one now. Who won the warm-up? Testman? Mitä sä luulet? Kuka voittaa?
Mayfield.
Yeah, we're both going for Mayfield. Mayfield's going to take it. You know?
So wait,
I told two good ones. Anthony, what jokes did you tell? I missed yours. I wonder if Kevin Bacon movies are banned in Muslim countries. What do you call a deer without eyes? No idea. Salty Joe with the good ones. Big Apple race next month. Yeah, we don't know about that. Don't have my ticket yet. What's going on there? Don't know. JQ presents at Nats. Keenan's going over, so what more do you need to know? Big boy's going to be there. Keenan's going to be there to take all the abuse and to sign a ton of drivers. I heard everyone's going JQ for next year. I don't know why. It's just happening. You know, we're going to piss off more people. Loopy's Live is going to lose their shit. The shit fountain is going to explode. They're going to be all surrounded by JQ races. That's how I like it. There's a lot of haters have turned into like supporters now. They're running JQs because they're like, fuck this guy, but the car's good. And then they realize, you know what? The guy isn't too much of an asshole either, you know? It's been happening. I don't know. Maybe Keenan has smoothed it out. Keenan's kind of translated what I've been trying to say, and he's been very successful. He can communicate with Americans. I'm incapable of doing. Well, I can barely communicate with anyone, to be honest. Anyway, stickers everywhere. Yeah, it's not a Joey race. What else? So Nats, Mayfield's going to win the Nats. We're going to win in the pits. JQ Racing's going to sign a shit ton of drivers. Loop is live. Shit fountains are going to blow a freaking gasket. That's what's going to happen. Also, Keenan, if you see sportsman drivers, if you see any sportsman drivers at the Nats running HB long shotguns and big balls, please what was that saying? I'm trying to remember. What was it?
I'm gonna lose my nuts.
I'm gonna lose my nuts. Keenan, you better let me know. Even just one sportsman driver running this long shock end, and he's gonna get the anti-discount. I mean the anti-tip, what is it called?
Anti-discount.
No, anti-squat. We're gonna increase the price by 20%. Next time he buys some JQ spares, he's gonna pay 20% more than retail. Okay? Ken Spencer, what did I miss? You missed a lot, buddy. You missed a lot. I dated a tennis player, but I'll never make such a mistake again. Love has zero meaning to them. Wow. Painted windows, that's another one. Okay, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. I'm done. We gave you all the value we could today. We have our own Dr. Tactic now. Max gave some really valuable advice. I tried to get you to understand, not to overthink it. Do the basics. Do the basic setup stuff. And it's gonna be good. You spammed Captain Club Race and his boss. We got over 100 viewers there for most of this session. And everything's going really good. The new office is getting there. When it's done, we'll show it to you. And before I go, one last thing. So I've been working on my own kind of special room here. So there's 2 rooms here in the office. The other one we can't go in. It's my special room. But I will go if we can achieve a certain amount of viewers on a Facebook Live. Now what should that be? 500? How many? How many? I think maybe 500. Mitä sanoisit? Mikä on niinku, onks kellään ollut 500 SC-piireissä? Onko se edes mahdollista?
On se varmaan.
Luuletko?
Mä luulen.
Okay, we're gonna go with 500. So if at one point in a Facebook Live we have 500 viewers, I am gonna take you on a tour around the special room. Captain Club Race wouldn't do it. No, you can't go in this room. It's a special room, you know. Special sex swings and, you know, all kinds of crazy shit going in the dungeon. You couldn't go there, but I have built my own special room. And I will take you in there after we have 500 viewers. So, that's it. I'm still live, Kirkman. But I'm out. I just wanted to see you back here. E-buggy. One more thing. Can't remember.